This video is cortisol DHEA ratio number 5. It's on the immune system. It's just going to be a quick thing on how the cortisol DHEA ratio, when it's off, can be affecting our immune system. So first of all, the diurnal curve that we take, I've explained it in a couple of other videos. Let's look at it again though, and some things that I haven't mentioned. Sometimes when we see this curve, this is taken through 4 or 5 samples throughout the day of saliva. That's the only way to get it. I've mentioned before, you can't just take one. You can have one. Sometimes we'll see, you can have one that's normal. You can actually have all your samples normal, but one be way up or way down. A lot of times we see that at certain times, primarily really right over here. And a patient can't sleep because cortisol is surging at that time. There's many things we can look at and see on this curve, and that all affects the cortisol DHEA ratio. So another thing we look for in sleep is the hours 1 to 3 in the morning, for example. If you wake up at 1 through 3 and it's like you can't get back to sleep, that's the liver. The liver's more active then, and if your liver's toxic, it's trying to push toxins out between 1 and 3, and you wake up and you can't get back to sleep. We see that every week in our office. If it's 11 to 1, that's the gallbladder. If it's 3 to 5, that's the lung. And we got to give the proper support and do the proper thing so the patient can sleep. And we treat a ton of patients that have problems sleeping. Now, when we look at this, we can see if the immune system, if this ratio is off, it can suppress things. It can cause yeast infections, increased infections, allergies, and if it goes long enough, chronic fatigue syndrome. So it's very important. We've looked at the cortisol DHEA ratio through the brain and stomach, through inflammation, pancreas, and the immune system now. So this ratio needs to be right for the body to function optimally. It's very important. Now, the immune alliance is 6 different things. We look at 6 different things. We don't really call it immune system. So we have the stomach. We need a proper pH. pH should be about 1.5 in the stomach. We have the liver. The liver has 6 detoxification pathways: glutathione, glucuronidation, amino acid, sulfation, acetylation, and the 6th one's methylation. So those are the 6. So we have to have our liver functioning properly. We don't want it toxic. We make it toxic. Bad foods, bad junk, bad stuff we drink makes it toxic. So we need to get that. And like I said, with sleep, that's essential. The long bones like the femurs, they make immature T lymphocytes. The thymus takes those lymphocytes and makes them mature. And then there's, of course, the spleen. I think I said all: stomach, liver, microbiome. No, I didn't say it. Microbiome, the good bacteria in the gut. You need probiotics plus prebiotics to make it multiply by itself. 80% of your immune system's in the gut. So we have to have that right for our immune system to work. There's other things. White blood cells. We have to get them the right nutrition. They have more vitamin C than any other cell in the body. We need to give them the right vitamin C, and that's not over-the-counter ascorbic acid. We need to get them the right calcium, because when you get an infection, your body kicks in, your white blood cells kick in, and it needs calcium. They need calcium. So if you have an infection, if you're sick, if you have a virus, you need calcium, not calcium carbonate, which you get over the counter. The other thing we do is live cell microscope. When we look, we take 1 drop of blood, put it on a slide with a cover slide, and look at it and say, okay, one of the things we look at, how's the immune system working? So we see this 1 drop of blood, and we see the blood moving right here in the office, and we say, wait, sometimes there's bacteria in the blood. They're like little winking things. They wink at you. There's rod forms, L forms in the blood. There can be yeast in the blood, fungal forms in the blood. All these things, when we look at the immune system, we say, okay, right now the immune system is not functioning properly. We need to do the things and get the right support to make it function properly. If you want to avoid bacteria and viruses, your immune system has to be going strong. And so that's some things we look at. We recently saw a patient, they had rod forms, L forms, bacteria, and fungal forms in the blood. So their immune system was compromised, very compromised. So we did the things to get their immune system back up. Real important right now, have our immune system right. The body can fight it. You know, God made the immune system to do the right thing and to fight with all its might anything that comes into the body. So until next time, reclaim your health, reclaim your life.